The silent escape, the stars were quiet, but the silence was not peaceful. A small silver ship moved through the darkness of space, its engines flickering weakly. Inside, the air was tense. The Velaryon alien race, known for their peaceful nature, were running for their lives. Their home, the planet Velaryon, had just fallen. Fire had rained from the sky, cities had turned to dust, and their people had screamed as war machines destroyed everything. Inside the ship, Elir, the leader of the survivors, sat still. His skin glowed a soft blue under the emergency lights. His long fingers trembled as he stared at the navigation screen. Behind him, only 30 other Velari remained, children, elders, and a few scientists. That was all that was left of their once great civilization. The attacker had come without warning. The Korath, a brutal war species feared across galaxies, had invaded with one message: submit or be erased. The Velari had no weapons. They had always believed in peace, in knowledge, in light. But the galaxy had betrayed them. Elir had sent calls for help to every known system. He begged the Galactic Council, the guardians of interstellar peace, to stop the attack, but no one came. The Council ignored them. In their eyes, the Velari were too weak, too soft, not worth saving. Now, only one hope remained. Set course for Earth, Elir said quietly. The crew hesitated. Humans? Asked Rena, a young Velari who had helped gather the children. They're dangerous, aren't they? Yes, Elir replied. But they are also the only species who might listen. The humans have a strange heart. They do not fear death. They protect their own. Perhaps, just perhaps, they will protect us too. The ship shook as it pushed its broken engines harder. Earth was far, but they had no other path. Back on Earth, in a military control room deep under the Atlantic, a red light blinked. Unidentified ship entering orbit, said a technician. Not Council registered. No known ID. Commander Marcus. Hale narrowed his eyes. Show me. A 3D hologram of the small Velari ship appeared. It was damaged. Radiation signals were high, but no weapons were detected. Could be a trap, another officer said, or a cry for help. Marcus replied. Gave the order. Send a patrol. Intercept, but do not fire unless attacked. Moments later, 3 sleek human fighters surrounded the alien ship. The Velari didn't move. Their engines had died. The ship floated helplessly inside. Elir stood in front of the main screen. Send. A message, he whispered. To the humans. Static filled the air. The ship's communication system was damaged. Still, a weak signal reached the human fighters. This is Elir of the Velari people, he said, voice shaky. We are not enemies. We are outcasts. Our world is gone. Please, we beg you, help us. Then he collapsed. Dr. Elena Torres, a scientist working at a secret human research base, watched the footage with wide eyes. She wasn't a soldier. She didn't wear a uniform. But she knew what she was seeing. These aren't fighters. She said to her assistant, these aliens, they're refugees. She called Marcus directly. You can't send them away. If they're running from the Korath, then Earth might be next. Which is why we should be careful, Marcus replied. We don't know if this is bait. The Council has strict rules. The Council left them to die. Elena snapped. Just like they'll leave us if the Korath ever come for Earth. There was silence. Finally, Marcus said, Fine. You want to help them? They're your responsibility now. Hours later, the Velari ship was carefully brought to a secret base in Iceland. Elena waited as the hatch opened. Cold wind howled around her, but she didn't care. She saw the first Velari step out tall, thin, glowing softly in the dark. Rena held a small child, barely breathing. Behind her, others followed, injured and afraid. Elena stepped forward. My name is Elena. You're safe now. I promise." Tears formed in Rena's silver eyes. "Thank you," she whispered. "You are different from the others." Elena didn't understand, but she nodded out above them. The stars were quiet once more, but far away, in deep space, a new fleet had already launched. The Korath had found the Velari's trail, and now they had found Earth. First, Contact the wind howled across the frozen plains of Iceland, but inside the research base, everything was silent. Tired, weak, and frightened, the Velari lay on soft beds, wrapped in thermal blankets. Human doctors moved, quietly, checking wounds and offering warm food. Dr. Elena Torres moved from room to room, trying her best to comfort the aliens. She had never seen anything like them. Their skin shimmered like moonlight. Their eyes, deep and glowing, held both fear and ancient wisdom. But it wasn't just their look that surprised her. It was how gentle they were. Even after everything they'd been through, the Velari never complained. They simply whispered words of thanks in their soft, musical language. Alina sat beside a liar who was still weak from the journey. He looked at her with heavy eyes. "You are not like the others," he said slowly. "Most species see weakness and turn away. You helped." Elena gave a small smile. "We've been through our own dark times. Maybe that's why we understand." A liar nodded. "Then I must warn you. The Korath, they never stop. If they know we are here, they will come." Elena's smile faded. In a high-security room in Washington, D.C., a secret meeting was held. General Marcus Heil stood with other world leaders and military minds. "The Velari are on Earth," he said. "And now we've intercepted a strange signal on the edge of the solar system." A hologram lit up the room, a grainy image of large, dark ships moving toward Earth. "They're not council ships," Marcus continued. "These are Korath war vessels, and they're armed." A cold silence followed. "Do they know the Velari are here?" a French commander asked. "We don't know yet," Marcus answered. "But if they find out, they will attack. Then we should hand the aliens over," someone muttered. "Why risk Earth for them?" Marcus frowned. "Because that's not who we are." Back at the base, the Velari began sharing their knowledge. Though they were a peaceful race, they had studied the stars for thousands of years. They gave humans star charts, energy readings, and even showed how their shields worked. Elena was amazed. "If we combine this with our own tech, we could build defenses the Korath have never seen." The idea quickly spread among human engineers and scientists. A small team began working day and night, mixing Velari energy shielding with Earth's military designs. They called it Project Unity, but not everyone supported the plan. A man named Agent Kellen Voss, a spy for the Galactic Council, watched the project closely. He had been sent to Earth years ago to report any threats or unusual actions. He didn't trust the Velari or the humans. "They're building something dangerous," he told his council contact through a secret channel. "If the Korath attack, Earth will respond with force. That could start a full-scale war." "Then stop them," the council voice replied. "By any means." Voss began to plan. Meanwhile, the children of the Velari laughed for the first time in weeks. In a small greenhouse near the base, they played with human kids' simple games, throwing softballs, chasing one another. Elena watched from a distance, tears in her eyes. Even after so much death, life continued. But high above them, a satellite picked up a new signal, unmistakable. A Korath battlecruiser had entered the solar system. In space, the dark ship floated silently. Inside, the Korath general, Vrak Tarn, watched Earth through a cold lens. "The Velari are there," he growled. "Weak creatures hiding behind fragile humans." An officer beside him spoke. Should we contact Earth? No, we don't ask, Brock said. We take. He raised a clawed hand and pointed forward. Prepare for war. Back on Earth, the warning came quickly. Red alerts blared through every military station. Marcus Hale looked at the screen. 5 Korath warships approaching fast. They're not waiting to talk, he said. Do we fire? An officer asked. Marcus hesitated, then shook his head. Not yet, but get our fleets ready. Wake every commander. We're going to need all of them. That night, Alina walked outside, staring up at the stars. She knew what was coming. A liar joined her, moving slowly but standing tall. They're coming. For us, he said. But not just for us. The Korath destroy anything that protects what they call weak. That means you. Alina didn't look away. Then we'll fight. A liar blinked slowly. Even when the Council fears you? Even when the galaxy calls you dangerous? Alina nodded. Because sometimes dangerous is exactly what's needed to protect the innocent. Above them, the stars shined silently. But war had already begun to move. The warning alarms rang across Earth's orbit defense stations. The sky above Earth had turned dangerous. 5 massive Korath warships were closing in, each one the size of a city. Their black hulls glowed with red energy. No signals. No requests. No mercy. In the underground war room, General Marcus Hale watched the screen in silence. They're here, he said. And they're not here to talk. A junior officer turned, panic in his voice. They're scanning our defense grid. They're preparing targeting patterns. Marcus clenched his fists. Keep our ships in defensive formation. Do not fire unless they do first. Sir, if we wait, I said hold. The room fell silent again. Far away, on the moon, a hidden human observation base watched the Korath fleet with fear. Could wipe us out in minutes, whispered a technician. His partner replied quietly. Not if Project Unity works. The Velari human technology, still unfinished, was Earth's only real hope. Their engineers were working nonstop, adding alien shielding to Earth's defense satellites and stealth cruisers. But they needed more time. Back at the Icelandic base, Dr. Elena Torres gathered with the Velari leaders. Elir was stronger now, though still tired. The Korath will not stop, he told the others. If Earth protects us, it becomes their enemy too. Rena looked up. Then we must leave. No, Alina said quickly. You came to us for help. We won't turn our backs. Elir stepped forward. Then you must understand the price. Alina paused. We do, she said, and we're ready to pay it. At that moment, Earth received a signal. It wasn't a request. It was a warning. A booming Korath voice echoed through every major communication system on Earth. This is General Vrak Tarn of the Korath Dominion. You are harboring prey that belongs to us. Hand over the Velari, or face destruction. In every human city, screens flickered with images of the Korath ships, looming like giants in the dark. The world panicked. Riots broke out in some areas. People demanded answers. Why was Earth involved in an alien war? Why risk human lives for a weak race the galaxy had already abandoned? At the United Nations emergency meeting, world leaders shouted across the room, "We didn't choose this. Why should we die for aliens? This is their war, not ours." Then Marcus Hale stood. They didn't choose this either. He said, their people were burned alive. Their homes turned to ash. They were hunted and abandoned. Sound familiar? He looked around the room. We are human. We know what it's like to fight for survival, to be alone. We've been the underdogs before, and every time we fought back, not because we had to, but because it was right. Silence followed. Then slowly, The room nodded. Earth had made its choice. In orbit, Earth's ships moved. A message was sent to the Korath fleet. This is Earth. The Velari are under our protection. Any attack will be answered. A pause. Then another message came through private this time. It was from the Galactic Council. Earth, do not interfere. The Korath are dangerous. If you stand against them, you will stand alone. Marcus read the message and simply smiled. We've always stood alone. He closed the screen. Meanwhile, in a dark control room beneath the research base, Agent Kellen Voss activated his hidden transmitter. He had been ordered to stop Earth's involvement. He had another mission now. Begin Operation Blacklight, he whispered. Sabotage the defense project. The Galactic Council wasn't going to let Earth rise. Not with alien tech. Not with Velari. Trust. Not with power. Back in the engineering bay, Velari and human scientists worked side by side. Rena watched as human hands fused metal and alien crystal. We are so different, she said softly. But maybe this is how it begins. Alina smiled. Not war, not fear, but trust. Suddenly, the lights flickered. A loud alarm rang out. Security breach, a voice shouted. Project Unity has been compromised. Alina turned toward the hallway. Someone had just tried to destroy Earth's only hope. High above, the Korath began powering weapons. The countdown to war had started, and the fate of both species hung in the balance. The decision. The night sky over Earth looked calm. But above that sky, war was coming. In the underground research base, red warning lights flashed. Soldiers ran through the hallways. Scientists were yelling. Someone had tried to sabotage Project Unity, the only defense system combining human and Velari technology. Dr. Elena Torres rushed into the control room. What happened? She shouted. A technician looked up. The power core was overloaded. Someone hacked the shield controls. Elena's heart sank. Can we fix it? We're trying, but someone knew exactly where to hit us. In a hidden chamber below the base, Agent Kellen Voss removed his gloves slowly. His face was calm, but his eyes were cold. He had served the Galactic Council for years, watching, reporting, and now breaking Earth's resistance from within. He whispered into his comlink. Sabotage successful. They won't be able to finish their defense system in time. The Council's voice replied coldly. Well done. Earth will now see it is not ready to face galactic power. Once the Korath destroy their fleets, we'll step in and clean up what's left. But Voss wasn't done yet. He had one final order. Eliminate the Velari. Meanwhile, in a UN security meeting, General Marcus Hall stood before the world's military leaders. The Korath want the Velari, he said. They will destroy us to get them. Our choice is simple. Fight or surrender. Some leaders were still unsure. We're not ready for war with an empire like the Korath. They outgun us. Outnumber us. Outmatch us. Marcus didn't argue. He just pointed to the screen. It showed a live feed of Velari children playing with human children in the base's garden. If we hand them over, we're no better than the Council, he said. And if we run now, we'll run forever. A long silence followed. Then, one by one, the leaders stood up. We stand with Earth. We stand with the Velari. Marcus nodded. Then prepare the fleets. Send the signal to every base. Defend Earth. Defend hope. Alina was working with Rena and the Velari scientists when the repair team gave the news. We can't fix Project Unity in time, the chief engineer said. The core is corrupted. Rena's face went pale. We failed you. But Alina shook her head. No, we don't give up. She turned to her assistant. How long until the Korath reach low orbit? 6 hours. Maybe less. She looked at the Velari. Can you help us build a new core? One that doesn't need human tech. Rena nodded. It's dangerous. Very unstable. Then it's perfect, Alina said. In space, the Korath fleet slowly began to spread out, forming a web of firepower around Earth. General Vrock Tarn stood on the bridge of his main ship, staring down at the blue planet. They are preparing to resist, one of his lieutenants said. Vrock grinned, sharp teeth showing. Good, he said. I enjoy a fight. Back on Earth, a human strike team discovered Agent Voss trying to sneak out of the base with stolen data. He reached for a hidden weapon, but before he could use it, a soldier knocked him to the floor. You're under arrest for sabotage and espionage, the commander growled. Voss smirked. You can't stop what's coming. The Council will never allow Earth to rise. Then they'll fall with the Korath, the soldier replied. Hours later, Earth's skies glowed with light. Human warships rose into orbit, some old, some experimental, all armed and ready. Fighter jets screamed across the clouds. Stealth. Cruisers with Velari shields hovered like ghosts. And in the center of it all, Unity Core 1 powered up. The new defense shield, unstable, unfinished, and untested, wrapped itself around Earth. A last hope. In the base, Alina looked at Elir. Don't have to stay, she told him. He shook his head slowly. No, this is our fight too now. We might lose, she said. Elir smiled. But we'll lose together. That's better than surviving alone. Above them, sirens began to wail. The Korath had made their choice. Now it was time for Earth's answer. Battle for Earth. The first Korath missile entered Earth's atmosphere like a falling star. It streaked across the sky, glowing red, and smashed into the ocean with a thunderous blast. A wave rose hundreds of feet high, but no cities were hit. The missile had been a warning, but Earth had no plans to surrender. From orbit, the human fleet moved into formation. Old space cruisers, stealth ships, new hybrid vessels powered by Velari Teko rose above the clouds, ready to fight. Inside one of the command ships, General Marcus Hall stood at the front window, watching the Korath fleet grow closer. All units, he said over the comms. You are not just defending Earth. You are protecting hope. Today, we stand for those who can't. Today, we show the galaxy what it means to be human. In the secret Icelandic base, Dr. Elena Torres and Rena were inside the control room of Unity Core 1. The unstable defense shield pulsed with energy, glowing brighter than ever before. How long can it hold? Elena asked. Rena glanced at the readings. Not long, maybe 15 minutes of full power. Elena nodded. Let's make those 15 minutes count. The battle began without mercy. The Korath unleashed fire. Beams of pure plasma rained down from above, lighting up space like a storm. Earth ships returned fire, dodging, weaving, firing back with missiles, lasers, and newly enhanced weapons. Human pilots fought bravely. Many had never even been in real combat, but they didn't run. They dove straight into danger, covering each other, protecting Earth's orbit with all they had. For every Korath ship destroyed, 2 more took its place. But something unexpected was happening. The Velari, shielding installed on Earth's cruisers, worked better than anyone thought. Even direct Korath blasts couldn't break through it. Human ships lasted longer. They fought harder. The Korath commanders began to notice. This shouldn't be possible, one growled. They're just Earthlings. General Vrock Tarn slammed his fist into a console, then crushed them. In space, a Korath superweapon began to activate. It was a massive cannon, hidden inside one of the capital ships, designed to destroy entire planets with a single blast. Its energy core lit up in a deep red pulse. Back on Earth, warning sirens went off in every major base. They're charging a planet killer. An operator yelled. General Halle looked at the screen. If that thing fires, Earth is gone. We need to take it out, Pilot said. But it's heavily guarded, replied another. No one can get close. Then a voice came through. The comms, calm, familiar. This is Commander Lynn Carter of the Phoenix, requesting permission to lead a strike team. Marcus replied, That's a suicide mission. Lynn answered, Only if I fail. The Phoenix, a stealth cruiser powered by Velari shields, vanished from radar and raced toward the Super Weapon. Meanwhile, on the ground, Agent Kellen Voss, still a prisoner, watched from a screen inside a secure bunker. He whispered, They shouldn't be winning. The Council had promised Earth would fall. But Earth hadn't fallen, it had risen. And now, it was fighting like nothing the galaxy had seen before in space. The Phoenix made it through Commander Lynn, and her team boarded the Korath capital. Ship in a fast, brutal assault. Fighting broke out in narrow, metal halls. Korath warriors clashed with human marines in close combat. Blades and plasma burned the air. They reached the core, but the control system was locked. There's no way to shut it down remotely. Someone shouted. Lynn looked at the readout. The weapon would fire in 60 seconds. She smiled sadly. Then I guess we do it the hard way. She grabbed a manual override cable and yanked it into the main core. The overload would destroy the entire weapon and her ship with it. She turned on her helmet camera. To Earth. Tell them it worked. The screen went black. Then dash boomed. A flash of light brighter than the sun exploded in orbit. The Super Weapon was gone. The Earth had been saved. The remaining Korath ships faltered. Their command vessel was destroyed. Their weapons were failing. Earth's forces pushed forward hard and fast, driving them out of orbit. Minutes later, the Korath began to retreat. General Vrock shouted in rage. This is not the end. But he knew he had lost. Cheers broke out across Earth. People cried, hugged, celebrated. In the control room, Elena sat beside a liar, watching the stars on the screen. You saved us, he said softly. No, she replied. We saved each other. High above them, the remains of the battle floated in silence. But Earth had stood firm, and in doing so, it had changed the galaxy forever. Humanity's choice, the battle was over. Above Earth, the stars were quiet. Again, no more weapons fired. No more ships exploded. The sky that once burned with war was now filled with the wreckage of victory. The Korath fleet had retreated beaten, broken, and humiliated. For the first time in decades, their empire had lost. And they had lost to a world the Galactic Council, once called Primitive. Earth had done the impossible. Inside the Global Military Command, General Marcus Hawley stood before the largest screen in history. It showed faces, millions of them, cheering in cities across the world. From New York to Nairobi, Karachi to Tokyo, people celebrated not just survival, but a new future. He turned to the press. We were told to surrender. We were told to fear. But humanity doesn't run. Humanity doesn't abandon the innocent. Today, we stood for something bigger than ourselves. And because of that, we all won. Applause thundered through the room. At the base in Iceland, Dr. Elena Torres sat beside a liar, watching the sunlight creep through the windows. It had been days since the battle, but the emotion was still fresh. Your people are safe now, she said. A liar nodded slowly. Because of you, because of humans. Rena entered, holding a small human child and a Velari child, both laughing. Running in circles. They've already forgotten the fear, she said, smiling. Elena stood. And maybe that's the point. So they never have to feel it again. The liar looked outside. We would like to stay. Elena blinked. Stay? Here, on Earth. We have no home left, he said. But we can help build this one. We have knowledge, medicine, energy systems. We can give back. Alina smiled. And let's build something new. Together. Days later, the Galactic Council called an emergency meeting. Representatives from across the stars sat in silence. Earth's ambassador walked into the chamber. The council leader spoke sharply. Your actions were reckless. You defied our orders. The ambassador nodded. We did. You gave shelter to fugitives. You risked galactic war. We did. And now you demand a seat at this table? The ambassador leaned forward. We don't need a seat. We're already here. Earth doesn't ask for permission to do what's right. We protect those in need. If that makes you uncomfortable, then maybe you're the problem. The chamber was stunned. But slowly, one by one, other species began to speak. A voice from the back, Earth helped when the council didn't. Another, they defended peace. Isn't that what this council is supposed to do? A third, perhaps it's time to follow Earth's example. The council had no answer. Back on Earth, a memorial was built in orbit. The Ring of Unity it was made from parts of both human and Velari ships. Names of the fallen both species were written in lights that circled the planet. Commander Lynn Carter's name shined brightest. She had given everything to protect both worlds. People from across galaxies came to visit the memorial, to remember the day when humans known once for violence chose to protect peace. In a quiet garden near the Icelandic base, human and Velari children planted trees together. Each tree had a name, a story. A lyre stood with Alina, watching them. So, what will Earth do now? He asked. She looked at the sky. Now? She said with a smile. Now we explore. We learn. We share. But most of all, we stay human. A lyre nodded. And we will stay Velari. But together, we are something more. A new chapter had begun. Not of war, but of hope. *** The end.